Well, welcome to this episode of the C-Suite Sherpas podcast. I'm your host, Brian Marshall, where we shine a spotlight on our experts and resources that serve the C-Suite. So today we have a great guest. His name is Marc Freedman. So Marc, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us your company and a little bit about what you do.
So my company is Expense to Profit. We do revenue reclamation. We bring revenue back to businesses by getting them back to market price for the services and the procurement of product that they need to operate their business.
And so tell us a little bit about the size of client, maybe an example of a really good client that you're able to help. You don't have to share names, but help people give a little context to because there's probably someone sitting here listening to this right now thinking, I wonder if I would be a good client for you.
Yeah, so our clients are really all sizes from every industry that there is here available. And whether you're a small business, and for us, when we say small business, we're really looking at about a $20 million revenue size business, because we can look at about $10 million of their expenses, and see if we can make a difference and help them be able to put money back in their business to grow. And our largest client does $2 trillion a year in revenue. So I like to say size doesn't matter to some point. But yeah, it goes from one end to the other. And obviously with your larger clients, like our biggest client, we've had multiple, meaning 5 or 6 actually, 6 and 7 and 8 figure savings for them in different categories. Wow. Which is crazy, because you would think a business that big would be able to do this internally. They just don't know what they don't know. And so we're able to come in and help.
Well, tell us this, we should never assume. So, if we, as we're talking, I'm already thinking of clients that I think you can use your help. And my first thought is, oh yeah, they probably have done this. But the reality is, you're right. Most of them haven't. Most of them don't even know that this is a thing that they could do. They just assume that what they pay is what they pay.
Well, and I'll give you a perfect example. So we had a client that laid infrastructure piping on the West Coast.
Okay.
Arizona, California, New Mexico. And they used all the different mobile phone providers that were out there. And, I said,
you mean in their business, they were using different providers.
in their business, because they have to have communication with all their,
Right.
all their employees and their supervisors and what have you. So they have 4 different providers at the time. Now there's 3 today, because most of them are getting bought, right? And I said, well, just send me the invoices. We'll take a look. It's no charge. We don't find anything. You don't get a bill. We do find something, we'll share in the savings. He said, well, there's no reason to do that, because last month I had my CAO call up the different companies and we beat them all up and got reductions in prices. Okay, fair enough. I'll tell you what, send me your bill from the reduction in prices, your most current bill where those prices are reflected, and we'll take a peek.
Yeah.
Well, they finally sent us the bill after about 45 days. We took a peek and we still saved them 22%. Above what they already got in savings. So as I said before, you just don't know what you don't know. And we have access to programs. And I said to him, as a matter of fact, take this back to your business, to your CIO, let him call his business rep at the different mobile companies, and see what he says. And I say, he'll say 5 words. Those programs do not exist. Well, they do exist, because as a partner to these different providers, we get access to programs that the business guys can't,
right.
which is crazy when you think about it. It's like, well, why wouldn't you let them offer that? Well, they don't. They give them to us instead. So, okay, cool. That's how we have fun.
Yeah. So what would you say? There are a few players out there in this space, right? You guys know that. I mean, you've got competition. Yep. But what sets you apart from the competitors in your space? What makes you different?
So most of the competitors in this space are very large. So we're more of a boutique. But that said, I actually have access to some of the people in these larger groups that are the category specialists, that have the knowledge base that you just, you're not going to get if you use one. You're using everybody in their network, right? But I can choose from somebody in that network or somebody in my network that has experience. And all of our experts have 20+ years. They've been doing this for quite some time. And you know, to the point where one was the chief pricing officer in the GPO unit, and they became president of the GPO unit of Cardinal Health, and he does medical supplies. Well, you can't buy that kind of experience, that
Right.
knowledge that he has. When you go in to talk to a client, it's just, you know, it's just amazing. It really is. It's a whole different conversation.
Yeah. So just to keep it clear, GPO is what does that mean? General Procurement Organization or something like that?
Yeah. General purchasing organization, general
Purchasing
procurement. Yeah,
organization.
either one. I
Yes.
mean, it just depends. They're interchangeable, but it's usually a group that you join. Some charge fees, some don't charge fees, but they get paid based on what you buy from different vendors that are in their network. Well, if
Got
they're
it.
getting paid, then you're probably not getting best price.
You're
So we
probably
can
not getting
come
the
in.
best
Yeah.
price.
Yeah. We can come in and undercut with the GPOs getting paid typically between 8 and 12%, because that's what they're getting paid.
So we're talking, so this is real money. This isn't, this isn't, take your family out to dinner kind of money. We're talking for a $20 million company, this could be tens of thousands of dollars a year that, or more that they're saving by working with you.
Yeah.
Is that right? Or is it better, even better than that?
Yeah, no, I would say it's even better than that. It's probably closer to about $180,000 a year, and we'll get a 3-year agreement with a vendor. We'll participate for the first 2 years, both monitoring to make sure you're getting the pricing you were supposed to get. If you don't, we go to the vendor and say, "Hey, you said it was going to be A. It's A plus one. No, make it A." And then we notate that in our report that we give the client, and then we charge based on the savings the client actually received. So yeah, it's typically seriously six-figure money at that level. And you're going to get it for, 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. So if you think about it from an accounting perspective, this would be the equivalent of adding like $1 million in revenue for 18% net profit margin business.
100%.
And I think if
Absolutely.
you said, "Hey, if I helped you get an extra million a year in business, would that be interesting?" They'd go, "Yeah,"
Without costing you anything.
without costing you anything, right? And that's the other part, right? They don't pay you a fee, and then you go, "Oh well, we tried. Sorry, it didn't work." This is you only get paid if you only get paid a percentage of what you save them. Is that correct?
100%. And oh, by the way, in 2012, we switched from the upfront charge a consulting fee model to a success-based fee because we felt it was more fair to our clients. Hey, we'll show you the results. They'll be real results, and then you pay us based on the results.
Yeah, and that is, I've been in the services business for a long time, and I was prior to that, I was an operator, right? I was even a C-level executive at a publicly traded company, and the thing I hated the most about dealing with consultants or vendors was the only guarantee I got was I was going to pay their invoices. That was the only guarantee. If we ended up getting what they promised, that was a bonus, but it never seemed like it was a priority. Now, I'm not saying every vendor was like that, but what I
Sure.
love about what you're doing, and I think this is a trend, is people are going to start asking us to share the risk. Hey, listen, if you're so confident you can help, I'll tell you what, I'll pay a success fee, or I'll pay, you based on, some sort of milestones. You have to be able to achieve these things as opposed to, you quote me a price and I pay your invoices. So I like that idea. And I think it makes it easier for business owners to make a decision to do these kinds of things because there is a cost. They have to invest time and energy. But it sounds like you're gonna come in and find cases where you're just gonna save money. Dumb question. Have you ever had a client where you worked with them and just couldn't find any savings for them?
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It's unlikely. I mean, maybe we'll find, small amount of savings in some areas, but depending on how many categories we look at, we can look at, up to 40 different categories.
Yeah.
I'm guessing
So
we'll find
so even if
something.
you save them, yeah, even if you save them a little bit, they're only going to pay you a fee based on what you saved them. So still,
So
it's scaled based on, the savings. So it's always a net benefit for them.
yeah, so I'll even tell you, so with my biggest client that I already mentioned, they wanted us to look at their temporary labor spend. They had no idea. They have 28 subsidiaries all under a holding company. They wanted to know, are the subsidiaries using the contracts? If they are, we getting the right pricing? So we did an
Right.
audit, $12 million spent, temporary labor. We looked at it. We literally found, number one, we confirmed, yes, everybody's using the contracts. And number two, almost everybody's getting the right pricing. We found like $12,000 in missed billings, call it that, right?
Yeah.
We handed it back to them and we said to them, you know what? You guys collect it. Why? Well, they've already paid us a ton of money on other projects, number one. And number two, goodwill, because first of all, if they're only going to pay us half of what we just recovered, that's $6,000. We've already wasted enough time. I've got to split it with somebody else. I'm not going to chase this money down. Right.
Right.
Just didn't make sense. So we told them where it
Right.
was. You go get it all. It's all yours. You keep it.
So the bottom line is that people will be better off having talked to you, having met with you, and if they work with you, then you're gonna help them save some money that they didn't even know that that they had it coming out, that they had cost reduction. So that's great. I mean, there's certainly, especially with what's going on with the recession, there's a lot of pricing pressure and people are looking for relief. And I think this is a great service that people should know about. So, one last question about the business. So what do you see as the biggest challenge that you're facing, that your industry is facing in the future, and how are you planning on dealing with it? How are you, either for your clients or, for partners you're working with, what's the biggest challenge you face right now?
I would say it's, well, we incorporated AI everything we do. We've been doing that for quite some time. It wasn't called AI before, but it's what it is today.
Yeah.
I suspect that, at some point there's going to be, some sort of solution. And they're close today, but they don't have the knowledge that we have.
Right.
They don't have the fact that we've done over 25,000 projects, saved over $1 billion for clients. They don't have that. We
Yeah.
have it. And so we have that personal piece that's lacking from the market. So at some point that's going to go away, obviously, as things get smarter and databases get easier to attain information from for very little cost, if any cost at all. So that may be a risk, but the bottom line is you still have to have the handshake with the vendor, and have that conversation. Say, hey, look, we're not trying to kill you. We just want to get back to market price.
Yeah, that's right. Well, AI is be a challenge for all of us, right? But it's also an opportunity too, because it is, while it's making it easier for others to do what you do, it's going to make it easier for you to do it, and you can up level your services and do something even more impactful.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I was doing an analysis a couple of weeks ago with 1,000 different line items, 1,000 different UPC codes. Didn't have the data we got from the vendor, did not have the price per unit and the cost for a case. It had how many boxes were in a case, how many items were in a box. I basically told Copilot, hey, I need cost per unit. Do this, do this, do this. And literally
right.
60 seconds later, 1,000 cost per unit items. And then I said, okay, open a new sheet, make 2 charts. I want one by dollars, one by most product. Opens it up, boom, boom, 2 pie charts. All it's like done. That stuff used to take me hours. Not
Yeah, I love
anymore.
it.
I was done with it in 5 minutes. It was great.
So even old dogs like us can learn a new trick or two. That's the
100%.
I guess that's the message for people that are terrified about AI. I mean, I went through this when the internet came out, and I was involved with building the equipment that lets you do the internet, and people were afraid. They were like, "Oh, my employees are going to be playing games, and they're not going to be working." And I'm going, "It's going to be the greatest productivity tool you've ever seen." But yeah, there will be distractions,
Yeah.
and AI is the same way. AI is going to have I believe, a much bigger impact on the world than even the internet did. So we are in the very beginning stages of that. So again, opportunity, but we have to adapt. So. Well,
Absolutely.
cool. So before we wrap this up, let's do something fun. I call it the lightning round. I'm going to ask you some quick questions. It's a chance for people to get to know you, Mark, the person, from a personality standpoint, have a little bit of fun. So I'm going to ask you some quick questions. Just answer it with whatever comes to mind. So you ready?
Go.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee,
Cats or dogs?
dogs.
So far, so good. There's no wrong answers, but there's the answers that I would have chosen. So you're on track. If you can only grab one weapon or item in the zombie apocalypse, what would it be?
Oh, wow. I get, I don't even know. That's an amazing question. I would have to say some AI powered destructible weapon.
There you go. So some sort of weapon. Okay, got it. Favorite quote or phrase that you think about often?
Albert Einstein said, if you try to solve the same problem using the same thought process that created the problem, you've lost.
That's right. That's the definition of insanity.
Mhm.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie. I'm not a big movie guy, but probably Wall Street.
Okay. How about a streaming service? You watch streaming, like TV shows? They called them TV shows when we were young. Now they're called streaming series.
Yeah, on Apple TV, I like the morning show. I thought it was pretty cool. Really
Okay,
enjoyed
good. Uh, Book that you're currently reading or read recently?
Think and Grow Rich
Think and
for
Grow
about
Rich.
the 15th time.
Napoleon Hill. Read that when I was a kid, and it was great then, and it's still great now.
It's amazing. Got
All
to
right.
keep reading it once, at least
Good.
once a year, I'm
Well,
told.
you're not the same person every time you read it, so it's a different message every time you read it. That's been my
Absolutely.
experience. How about a bucket list item that you've already accomplished?
A bucket list item that I've already accomplished is skiing out west, south of Tahoe, at on a lift number 14 called the Wall, which when you get up to the top of the top of the mountain, it looks like this, right? You look over here.
Mm,
Who thought this was a good idea,
yeah.
right?
Who said, "Hey, let's try that"?
Yeah. Alpine Meadows,
Or
yeah,
more
amazing,
importantly, who said that twice? Who survived it?
right?
Cool. How about a bucket list item you haven't accomplished yet, but you will?
Um, Probably do some kind of like a Mediterranean cruise with my wife for at least 2 weeks.
All right, cool. Well, remember now this is recorded, so now you're on record saying you're going to do it.
Yeah,
So, well, cool. So listen, appreciate you being on the podcast. Before we let you go, one last question. Someone's watching this and they want to get in touch with you. What's the best way for them to reach out to you to either talk about being a referral partner or engaging you in your services? What's the best way to contact you?
so you can send me an email at marc, at expense2profit.com, expensetopRofit.com, or go to the
Okay.
website
All
and
right.
you can contact me either way. That's the best way.
And we'll post this on our YouTube channel and we'll put in the description all that contact information so people get in touch with you. So,
Great.
Marc, thanks for being on the podcast. Look forward to getting offline with you and figuring out ways we can work together. And so it's been great to get to know you a little bit better and hope this helps.
Brian, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too.